Hi, thanks for tuning in to the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by CR Gutters and A Advanced Septic Services. My name's Galen.
I'm Joe.
And we're coming at you from the BD Local Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by CR Gutters and A Advanced Septic Services. My name is Galen.
I'm Joe.
And we are coming at you from the BD Local Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So, Joe, can you tell our new listeners and viewers how our Ask Valor Masterminds podcast came to be?
Absolutely. So it started out as a Facebook group page, bringing business owners together to communicate with one another, share tips, ask questions, give answers, just an all-around community for business owners. So from that, being that we're in marketing, we get a lot of questions about all topics related to business. So we thought, what a better way than to bring on guest speakers who are experts in their fields, where they can share stories and share tips and just give secrets to the trade in specific industries.
Awesome. So do you want to do a quick intro of our guest? We'll do a more formal intro to Roger, but a quick intro, please.
Absolutely. So I met Roger at I think I meet most of our guests at networking events, but I met Roger at, I think it was a Gig Harbor Chamber event.
Pillar Group, yep.
Pillar Group. And so that's how I met him. And he's a business consultant, business coach, and we'll go into that a little bit later.
Awesome. Thanks for being on this episode.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me here.
So, Joe, our last episode that we filmed was with Joshua Gunia of A Advanced Septic Services, one of our sponsors. What was one of your key takeaways when Josh was on?
Yeah, one of it for me was, and I wrote it down because I need that, but if you want to grow your business, marketing is vital, and it's even more vital to find the right company to help you with your marketing. There are companies that say they can do marketing, and then there's companies that prove they do marketing.
Right. And since I've known him a while, I just really am proud of the fact that he takes care of his employees like family. He doesn't view it as like employees, like they're really family. So he goes above and beyond, uplifting his people and everything, and is really proud of the fact of as they've grown, they've offered more jobs to the local community. So,
and real quick then on that is, just so our viewers know, he's seen a 28% increase with his revenue year after year based upon what his marketing company's doing for him.
Yes, since he's worked with Valor Marketing, since we've worked with him. So, Joe, can you give a quick, some quick information on our Valor Cares program before we show a quick our Valor Cares winner?
Yeah, so Valor Cares started during COVID. We got together and we decided we wanted a way for us as a company to give back to businesses, both local and nationwide. And the easiest way for us to do that is to give away free websites. So it's part of the hashtag Valor Cares program. If they're interested in applying, there's a committee of people that review the applications. They would go to thevalormarketingllc.com/Valor Cares and submit their information. And then once a month, we choose a winner. And
awesome.
Super excited about it.
So cue our video, if we could, of AJS, A Step Above the Rest, Antoine Summers. And also just found out that August is National Black Small Business Month. So highlight a winner, and here's his testimonial about his Valor Cares website. All right, guys, Galen here with Valor Marketing and with Antoine Summers of AJS, A Step Above the Rest. Congratulations on being our first Valor Cares website giveaway winner. So congratulations. So tell us what a new website will do for you.
Really, what's going to do for me is create awareness. I'm more than just a floor company. I do hard floors, carpet cleaning, windows, janitorial. So this will allow customers who couldn't find me before to have access to myself and my company and see what all we have to offer.
Awesome. So let's take a quick peek. So here's your new site now. So what was the main thing that you liked on this site compared to your old site?
I like how this site pops out at you. It's eye-catching from the beginning, from the homepage, all through the about, the services, testimonial, the bright pictures. It allows customers to see exactly what I do, how they can reach me, and also it's got on there the testimonials. It's great. It allows customers to easily navigate my website. As far as my other one, might have been a little harder to navigate. The customers might not know exactly what all I had to offer. With this site, it's all right there.
Awesome. So go to AJS Above the Rest, check it out. Again, congratulations to Antoine Summers and AJS Step Above the Rest for being our first Valor Cares winner. Congrats, Antoine.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Valor Marketing. Thank you again for all your help. Yeah, this is really gonna help help myself out in the future. Thank
Awesome.
you.
All right, so visit our website, valormarketingllc.com/valorcares to get more information. Now we come to our segment, our A Advanced Septic Pump You Up quote of the day. So there's two quotes, actually. So on one of Roger's previous podcasts, there's a quote that I want to put on here. So cue image 2. The definition of a double bogey in golf is a bad shot followed by a stupid shot. So I'm a golfer, and I could relate because probably I'm a stupid golfer. But this one came, and then you followed it up with a quote, which I should have did, but I thought it was more fun to do this one. When you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny, from
Yes.
Dr. Patrice Berry. So,
Yes. Yeah, so many times, and I obviously I play some golf, and I probably joined right there in the double bogey club, but so many times, in business, we make that, bad shot, and we don't learn from it fast enough, and so we make that stupid shot
again,
the second
yeah.
time again, and it's just what small business owners do when they're so busy working in the business that are working on their business.
right. So now, since it's a pump you up quote of the day, cue image 4, the really pump you up quote from Benjamin Franklin. He that can have patience can have what he will. So something that I just thought that, you're a business coach and you're a business owner yourself. When that quote's read, what resonates with you from those words?
That really anything is possible, but like I said earlier, so many times small business owners are working so hard in the business that they're not working on the business, that they stop to really start to see what's possible anymore, because they're drowning, what I call, in that pool of alligators up to their
Yes.
waist, and alligators, right? Just snap at them all day, that they don't really get a chance to enjoy what they're doing and to really keep the foot on the pedal, growing the business. They're just working in the business.
Right. So now we come to our segment of the podcast, our CR Gutters Did You Know segment. So cue image 6. 46% of the small business community is estimated to have closed their doors permanently by the end of 2020. So you just mentioned alligator snapping and everything.
Yes.
When you talk to different clients and everything, or you see local small businesses, do you see this stat coming true and people who can't pivot or having a hard time?
Yeah, unfortunately, the COVID-19 just brought this to light to a lot of these businesses. And like I said, if you're working so hard at your trade that you don't have that time or the energy to really think about, okay, how should I pivot, or how can I pivot? And unfortunately, the COVID-19 isn't playing favorites to anybody. So really, if you don't have your eye on the ball, you're lost. And you would think that with some of these businesses that might have had to shut down for a while, they had this free time to think about things. But unfortunately, they've trained themselves over the course of the years to think about just how they're doing it right now. And they have this free time to do it, but their mindset's not there to help them.
Right.
Yeah.
So cue image 7, which goes into what the CR Gutters Did You Know statement is. Most of these are due to not willing to pivot their business offerings. So these stats are from the U.S. Department of Commerce and the SBA. So pivot's a big word that's been tossed around during this time and everything. We've seen clients do it. We've seen some businesses who refuse to do it. What do you tell those businesses when they come to you, like, I don't know how to pivot. What does that mean? I was just so used to doing this for 8, 10, 5 years. Help.
Well, number one, check your ego at the door. So many times, they refuse to do it. And that's just all ego driven. But, what I really tell people is that, you need to go back to your purpose. Why did you start your business in the first place? Purpose can be called a mission statement, whatever you want to call it. But go back to that and say, okay, what can I do now at this time to keep that framework in mind, my mission statement, and then move forward to help my clients, my customers with whatever I do. But they fail to do that because the purpose that they started with whenever they started the business is such a far gone, it's a memory. It's all it is, and barely a memory. And so what they need to do is they need to refresh themselves with that.
So being passionate, right?
Get that passion back.
Because there's a Gary Vee quote, skills are cheap, passion is priceless.
Absolutely.
Remember why you're doing this, right?
Absolutely.
Cue image number 8. So because of the circumstances and willingness to pivot, so businesses that were willing to pivot, 48% are back to their same monthly levels of income at the same time last year in 2019. So Joe, we've had customers, luckily in like the service industry, who are deemed essential businesses and everything. What have you heard from our clients or your clients that you work with?
A lot of them they are successful. They realize that marketing is a key part to keeping their message out in front of their clients and potential clients. And so they're able to do that. I had several companies actually increase their marketing budget because their competition stopped marketing. So it's all about how can I stay in front of people so that way they may not need my services now or my products now, but because I'm in front of them, when they do need it, they're going to remember me.
Right. Because even before the last time when the market took a little dip, the clients who were with us that maintained their advertising actually came out of it stronger. So maintain that visibility.
That's a form of pivoting, to increase your marketing under a time like this where most people are sticking their head in the hole in the sand, right? This guy decided, hey, I'm going to put my foot on the gas pedal and keep going on it. Smart guy.
And he was a previous guest. I'll give him a little shout out, Adam Goit with Brookside Landscape Design. He's like, hey, let's do some Google Ads. And I remember going over reports with him and going over how people are finding them and keywords. And one of them was like hand pump fountain. Well, that $1.35 click, landed a client that was several $1,000s. And for those of you who aren't old enough to know, the little hand pumps are usually, they used to pump water up and spit it out.
No Bluetooth there, manual.
No Bluetooth, all manual labor. Pump it up. Usually when you're going down a slide, you're on a lake. But that's what someone searched for, hand pump fountain. And that turned into a several $1,000 job from a click that cost them $1.35.
And from a business standpoint, that's great ROI.
That's a great ROI. Cue the next image. So 20% of small businesses are 50% or less in comparison to where they were in 2019. So not all businesses could successfully pivot, like the restaurant industry, if they don't offer takeout, the seating capacity, even if they're open now in stage whatever, we're in 1.5, 50%, 25% capacity. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm going to probably say that the 20% that they're referring to here are the ones that refuse to pivot. Okay? Because even if the COVID-19, obviously it's here and it's still with us, that most of those guys that did not fail to pivot or think about what they can do, those probably are the guys that are still part of that other stat that you just mentioned, and the guys that really just decided that, I'm going to apply for my PPP, I'm going to stick my head in the sand, and when I come back out, I hope everything is gone. Those are the guys that are probably that they're referring to here.
Yep.
Right. I think I agree. So cue image 10. Now we'll do a more formal introduction of Roger. Joe, take it away.
I wrote these down. So Roger has over 25 years in the fitness and hospitality industries. He's the creator of Fit Life University. He's a business coach and consultant. He's the president of Affluence Business Solutions. He's the co-founder of Straight Talk to Success workshops. And he's launched recently the ABS Mastermind Roundtables in June for small business owners, managers, colleges, and high school students. So with that, what you launched in, is that because you pivoted your business?
Yes. Absolutely. What I found through the Zoom calls, that you could see that pain in people's eyes. They were stressed. They really didn't really know what to do, but they wanted to do something. They knew they had to do something. And so I started putting together these roundtables because I wanted to have them, in a same group with other people, so
Right.
that way they could feel each other's pain, but then work off each other's pain in their past experiences that work for them and make it work for them. Really, I sit back and just facilitate, those guys. It's amazing what you really know when you're a business owner, and that you don't really think you know until all of a sudden you start having a conversation. All of a sudden, great words start coming out of your mouth, and it's amazing sitting back and just listening to these people talk, and they have all the answers. They just don't know they have the answers until
Right.
someone says, you know what, that's a damn good idea. Why don't you try that?
Right.
And this is how you should do it. And they talk it out.
Right. So since being a business owner yourself, and now being a business coach, so can you share some lessons learned as an early entrepreneur?
Yeah, very early I learned that I didn't know what I didn't know. And that should resonate with a lot of small business owners because, like I said, we love our trade and we jump both feet in to the deep end and we realize that, oops, we don't really know how to swim and get out of that. And so that's really number one. But then number two is kind of based on that is you have to have that willingness to keep learning. Because just like technology, just like everything else in the world, what's good today is outdated tomorrow kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And so you have to keep learning, but you still have to have what I call, you have to be addicted to that business end of the shovel as well. You need to still be able to say, I'm going to work hard for this.
Right.
And where a lot of people start a business because they think that I'm going to control my own schedule. I don't have to work as hard anymore because I don't have to work for the guy that's,
100% wrong.
Exactly.
The opposite.
It's just the opposite, exactly. But they don't realize that. And so that goes back to number one, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
Right. So as you being a business coach and you give advice, what is the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Well, let me ask you another question. You know what the problem is having your own personal chef?
No, do not.
You're only going to get what he knows how to cook.
True.
Okay. And so what I mean by that is that if you're going to get out in business, surround yourself with a bunch of like-minded peer partners, individuals that really are in sync and in harmony with what you're doing. Because if that one guy only knows that one thing, he's only going to tell you that that's his magic pill, that silver bullet, but it might not work for you.
Right.
So if he's saying this is what you need to do and you walk down that path, you've now just maybe wasted resources. You've now wasted your time. And before you know it, you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
So since this is a marketing podcast, Roger, why is marketing your business important for our listeners and viewers out there?
Well, since you know that I'm good at storytelling and quotes, the one quote that leads into this is, it's no good to wink at a pretty girl with the light turned off. You're the only one that knows what happened. So if you want to get noticed, turn the damn lights on, right? So it kind of goes back to what you guys were talking earlier about. The guys that are succeeding right now are the people that are continuing to market. You need to do that. I've had clients tell me when I'm first doing an assessment with them that one of their proudest moments is that they're the best kept secret. Well, that's not a good thing. That's
Right.
nothing really to brag about when you're a business owner. You don't want to be the best kept secret. You want to be the best known,
Right.
entity around here. And so it reminds me of this client I had in the Midwest. She owned a health club. And when I went to do an assessment with them, I'm doing an on-site assessment, I realized that this health club was like 99% women and there was no men. And when I asked her why there was no men working out here, she couldn't know.
The
So-
business owner, she didn't know.
She didn't know really why there was not that many men here. And so as part of my assessment, I go and secret shop her competition. So, the club had a fitness name of a club. So when I went to club number one to secret shop them, I get through the tour and all this kind of stuff. And then I said, I just moved here. So my boss also told me to go down to the street here to this other club, which is my client. But I didn't let them know it was my client. And they said, oh, you're talking about Miss Vivian's. Well, that's not even close to the name of the club, but they're calling it Miss Vivian's. I said, well, that sounds like it's for ladies only, not for guys. And they go, oh, no, I don't think so. So I go to the next, business, secret shop them. And at the end of the tour and stuff like that, I said, my boss told me I need to check out this other club down the street. And they go, oh, yeah, you're talking about Miss Vivian's. And I'm thinking, how does a competition think that the name of the business is Miss Vivian's when it's not even close to what the name.
Two different
Two different
who don't know each other.
Who don't know each other, but they both think that their competition is called Miss Vivian's. And I said, well, doesn't that sound like it's only for women only? And the guy goes, no, I think you can join if you're men, but you have to be gay. So I went back to my client and I said, I think I now know why you don't have men working out here. This is the image you have in the community, and this is your competition saying this. And
She was unaware of it.
She was unaware of it. And so obviously, whatever marketing she was doing or not doing, it did not really
Portray who she was.
exactly and what she wanted.
So she just had to probably pivot her missioning or branding if she wanted to open up that.
The branding,
her-
yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Yep.
So now we'll get into, since you being a business coach and this is COVID, cue the next image, how to relaunch or reopen the existing business with a stronger, more viable plan that can be sustained during this crisis and well after. So relaunch, reopen, it goes into like what's pivoting and everything. but
Exactly.
there has to be a right way and a wrong way to do it, right?
Yeah, so first of all, I would find yourself some peer partners that can really talk business with you, because not everybody would have known that guy had spent more money on his marketing when the COVID come.
Right.
And so he's got some good real life experience to share. Someone else needs to hear that.
Right.
And then the next guy needs to hear that. But then at the same time, when you put this group together, you hear so many things that you just probably knew, but you just didn't think about. And so that would be number one. But then I'd go back to, like I said earlier, you got to go back to the purpose of why you started that business in the first place. And just get yourself, resynced with that reason why you started the business whenever you did. And then once you have that determined, okay, now it's now 2020, COVID-19, how do I repurpose that an original purpose and see what that's going to take? But whatever you do, and I'm not here just to up you guys, but don't take your foot off the marketing pedal. Whatever you do,
Yeah.
you got to keep your name out there, whatever way that looks. And even if you're not open for business, you still need to be in their eyes somehow and in their mind somehow.
When you look at like all of the big recessions, the big brands like your Cokes and your Pepsis, they continue to market.
Absolutely.
And now everyone knows who they are.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Don't take your foot off that marketing pedal.
So when you like secret shopping, that thought kind of intrigues me, because I think a lot of businesses out there, they focus, they put the blinders on. I'm in business. I do this. Have you always done that with your clients? Is it because I think now that you say it, I look back, and think, wow, if I'm onboarding a client, it's important to know like how everyone else views you. I mean, when we do Google searches for clients, we'll be, oh, here's who appears, but we don't go that next step of how they view you.
Right.
Like if you're they're cheap and they offer poor service. Those
Right.
reviews are fake or whatever.
Well, yes, I do it for all my clients, but even before I became a business consultant, I did it for my own businesses. I want to know what my competition are doing. I want to know the inner workings, who they have working for them, how they treat people, how they word certain things. But then I want to know, in a sly way, what do they think about me and my business? And so if I'm not doing the secret shopping myself because they know me in the community, I have other people out there that know me and go out and do the secret shopping for me.
Because a lot of times we've heard from our clients, it's not always about like price. It's like trust. If I'm going to spend a sizable amount of money, I have to know who I work with, what they're behind and everything.
Yeah.
Things that we like to highlight and everything.
Right.
So many business owners think that it's all about their product and their service and the price of that. When it's really, it has nothing to do with their product or service. It has everything to do with all those intangibles.
Right.
The service, the people. Can you walk in and see smiles on people's faces, or are they just back there doom and gloom and look like they're about ready to, go on a massive killing spree type thing?
Right.
I'm sure you guys have all seen the TV show The Addams Family. Wednesday Addams, do you remember her? She never had a smile on her face.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is have Wednesday Addams be the first person you see when you walk in as a customer, because
Right.
if you're going to have your pet killed later that day kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the ideal client that you like to work with, is it the startup, the business turning the corner, the established business that needs to, kind of reinvent themselves? Who do you like? Who do you feel is the kind of business, listeners and viewers out there, that you could really impact?
The people that are stressing out, and sometimes the stressing is all in their own mind. They're doing very well as a business, but they can't get out of their own way.
Right.
Okay. And then there's other people, business owners, who are stressing because they need to stress because they're not doing well. So really, I'm at that stage of my career where I want to help, ease people's mind and help them out. So even if they're doing good, bad, or indifferent, if they're feeling the pain of stress, they're not doing something right. And that's what I want to come in and help.
Awesome.
But I love the startups just because they haven't gotten any bad habits yet.
Right.
Okay.
So you can mold them how you need to mold them.
Yeah, and give them that, the old saying, I don't know what I don't know. I can give them what they need to know before they start making mistakes.
Yeah, we actually had a guest on our podcast, Tammy Christensen, right? Who's I think she's a tax or an accountant.
She's a bookkeeping tax person in
Gig Harbor. When COVID hit, she opened her business. So talk about like bad timing. But again, she hasn't. This is her first business, right? Because she worked for like a bigger box company.
Yes.
So you don't make mistakes and everything. So when you see those startup companies, you like working with them. What are one or two things you see they do wrong right away that you could help them fix quickly?
Well, what they typically do, if they're coming from the same industry but another employer, they're bringing all those bad habits with them. And they don't know they're bad habits because that's all they've ever been taught how to do.
Right.
All they're going to do is say, I'm going to do them better. Well, if it's a bad habit, it's like your double bogey.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it's still
bringing my handicap into play.
Exactly. So. It's still a bad shot turning into a stupid shot. So, but if they don't know that, they're in trouble right away.
Right.
So it kind of goes back to they need to start doing some continual professional development and training. Get into a mastermind where you're getting the resources of everybody around you. You join a like an executive book club or something where you're doing that constant training. So if anything else, you might learn something that you need to know, even though you've already opened the doors. You're in the water. So now how do I get from here to there in that water?
Right. Yeah, the professional development, going back on the golf analogy, since I'm a golfer, good at times, mostly bad at others, but it's like a beginning golfer who, you've probably seen it, they'll buy the most expensive clubs, spend $2,000 and just started. They think buying the most expensive thing fixes it, but it's actually, you don't need that. You just need to learn how to play. Similar in business, you just can't buy your way out of a hole. You have to have a strategy. Yeah. I mean, most businesses don't have all the money just to buy things and everything, but that's kind of their mentality. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
They're in their own way thinking that, it can't be that hard, can it? Right?
Exactly. And they had that experience where they had that one bad boss, and I'm gonna, they're out not to have a good business. They're out to prove to that bad boss that they can do better than what he or she did to them. Well, that's the wrong reason to open up a business,
right?
To prove something wrong. Get yourself trained, get yourself in position to show that guy that there are better ways to do it, as opposed to saying, well, I'm going to show him or her, and I go up in a business and I fail miserably because all I want to do is prove to him that I was a better choice than what he really thought I was.
Right. So being that you're a business coach, you may or may not have researched us. Can you tell us one thing that maybe we're doing right?
That you guys are doing right?
Yes.
Well, I am not going to say this again, that I am probably the biggest Joe Zeman fan in the world. What you do on a day in and day out basis of hitting the pavement and knocking on doors, cold calling people face to face. People don't do that anymore.
No.
And they should.
Yes.
Because look how successful you are. And to me, if anybody says, I know Joe Zeman, I said, well, hang with them because, the old saying, you replicate the 5 people you're closest to. I want Joe Zeman to be one of my 5 closest people because what you do is like no one else does, and they should. So everybody here should just take part of Valor Marketing, but they should just learn from you.
We can do a podcast just on cold calling.
What a testament from Roger
Yeah.
for Joe.
Yeah,
That's
you know-
an amazing
Well,
testament.
you brought up that you don't know what you don't know. It's the same thing with cold calling. If I don't walk in that next door, how do I know that that business may or may not need my help? So it's just swinging those doors, and eventually you're gonna help people along the way, and ultimately, and what I think what we do is we just want to help people.
Yeah.
So part of that is doing the work and getting out there, and I cold call differently than probably how Galen cold calls.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know your recipe for success, and I would just keep riding it because no one else is doing that. So
Right.
you know what, you're on your island all by yourself. So you know what, you have no competition when it comes to someone that doing
And even
that.
for COVID, I still put my mask on and I still cold call.
Absolutely.
So due to that, and just the last thing we'll close is our Valor Cares. It's a good segue.
Yeah,
Still
absolutely.
get out there. We preach our message to businesses that we come in contact with.
Yes.
One last shout out, or Q Image one, for our Valor Cares program.
Love the program. We're just in a position where we can give back to local businesses and really businesses nationwide. So if you have a business, you don't have a website, or you have a website and it's outdated and ugly, and we have no problem telling people that their baby's ugly. But if your website is ugly, we're going to tell you. If you need help with that, just message us. We'll let you know. And then lastly, it's a website that you built or someone else had built for you that you don't have access to. Just go in and apply. There's three industries we, at this point, are not eligible. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Which would be a nonprofit organization, a multi-level marketing, or an e-commerce build, because e-commerce builds, if you have 200 products, that's 200 pages. It's a pretty massive build. But feel free to go to the website, valormarketingllc.com/valorcares. Read about it, submit your information, and a committee of people will keep choosing winners.
Awesome. So again, Roger, today, thank you for jumping on our Ask Valor Masterminds podcast.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
On behalf of our sponsors, CR Gutters and A Advanced Septic Services, my name is Galen.
I'm Joe.
Coming at you from the BD local studios in Tacoma, Washington. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you again soon.